Hello again, this is UML Operator. All right, in this session, we're going to show you how to set package control, package version control, VC, in Sparx Enterprise Architect. Now you can set package control on any package, any level, but normally what we do is we set it at the parent or main package level. The main advantage of setting package control is to set some defaults for versioning and managing a package. But first, before we jump into this, always click and help if you need it, all right? This will help get you to content that guides you through the process, just as a reminder as you're getting into versioning and package control. So let's set a package for version control. I'm going to pick relationships over here in the browser. My browser's over on the right side based on my workspace configuration, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to go to settings, then we're going to go under version control, package version control. I'll talk about project version control much later time. I really don't use this. I do version control other ways, which I've talked about with you. But we're going to select package version control. And we get a dialog box here that has several options for you to select. And the first option is checking this box that says control package. Now, I explained to you, and so does Sparx and Help, what this checkbox is, and it pops you up a warning, and I don't use this. So are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. But you can read ahead and determine whether you want to do that. We're not using version control, so we're going to leave this to none. Under the file name, it takes the name automatically from browser for relationships. And so you just go to a place where you store a repository repo, where you store your XML for this project or your XEA. And that's what we're going to be using the format. We're using XEA. You have four options: XMI 1.1, very beginning, this is what I used. Then 2.1 came out, much faster and better, except it doesn't support merge. I don't do merge anymore. And then native XML came out later on, which is very nice, very fast in Sparx. And then recently, and I want to say recently, over a year ago, they came out with native XEA. And this is what I use today. So we've got it set to native XEA. Now I'm going to cancel here and come back, but the default is 1.0, and we're going to want to set this to 0.0.01. You know, this is how and what I like to normally start out as. And you can leave the default, this is who's logged in right now, or you can select any stakeholders that are in that project, all right? And these are, you can't set these, last load date, last save date. This will be later for you, but don't worry about these right now, okay? And then we're going to leave other options. We're not going to touch any of these at this time. All right, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to cancel for a second, and I want to go back here, and I want to go in properties. All right, I can double click I can launch properties, and in this I have this set to version 1.0. Now over in the right hand side you can see this is set to 1.0, and in this I have packages. This is 0.3, this is 0.2, this one's 0.4, and so on, all right? And I might have already started before I started version control or package version control, and those have just been set either by myself or by other stakeholders that are working in this project. We're going to go back up here again. We're going to check this box. We're going to check this box. There we go. We're going to set where we want to save this, and it's going to go to where that repository is. We're going to use native XEA. We're going to set this to 0.01, and we're going to leave the owner here set. Again, we're not touching anything in other options, and I'm going to hit OK. Now you'll notice over in the browser, there is now a red rectangle on the package icon. And when we select this, let me go back up here. When we select this, refresh, you can see it's been set to 01. Let's look at this package, all right? It is still 03, and this is still 02, and so on, all right? It only impacts the original package that you're putting under version control when we set it under these parameters right here, right? Let's go ahead and version now this package. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit Control, Alt, and E to bring up export package to native XML file, right? And because we configured this for XEA, everything is preset. XEA, file name's XEA. If I was to change it, and I certainly can, I can change any of these. It'll take it to those format. But I wanted to, as my default version, as XEA. All the other boxes are disabled. I can't do merge. You're not worried about that. And we're going to hit export. So now when I hit export, this has been exported and versioned to the file destination that I set. All right, we're going to do this again. We're going to select the package that we want to export into our repository and put it under version control. And we're going to hit Control Alt E to bring up the export package to native XML, XMI, which stands for XML metadata interchange file. All the defaults are set because we have it under control. It knows where we want to go. Now, normally when I'm doing a version, what I'll do is an underscore and a 01 for version 01. I'll put that version number in there. Sometimes I will put a date in here, 01, 12, 24, 24, not 23. And I will hit export and I'll version. This is a convention that I often use when I'm versioning projects and packages. However, I'm in certain projects, they have a convention that a shop wants to follow, and we will follow what their governance tells us to. So I'm going to hit export, and now this has been versioned under this particular file name for what we just exported, right? I'm going to close this. At the same time that I do this, I also baseline the package. So I'll hit Control Alt B. There's no baselines. I'm going to hit New Baseline. I use the same version, 01, right? And now this entire package has been baselined at this date and time. I didn't put any notes in here, but I talk about that using baseline and reusable asset service and other methods and practices in versioning your models and work at any package level, right? So now we have this under package control. It's versioned in the version format that we chose for the repository, and we've created a baseline with the same version number. So the next version that I would do would be Control Alt E, and I would go out and call this, and I would name it here 0.02, underscores the delineation that I like to use, 02. Just simply hit export, and you could put the date and time in there if you want. I didn't in this case. It's up to you and your shop. And hit close. Then I come back in as soon as I do that. Control Alt and B, and I create a new baseline, which is going to be 0.02, and I would continue to version and manage the projects throughout the day, week, month, or year as we're going through delivery. All right, that concludes this session on package version control. I hope it was helpful. Reflect back on it, take screenshots where you need to, and until the next time that we talk, happy modeling.